When we talk about mobility restrictions and just movement, we often kind of refer back to our checklist where we talk about, is it muscle, is it joint, or is it sliding surface that's limiting the range of movement, or is it technique plays part of there as well. So today I just wanted to have a look at the hip joint and just have a look at that actual joint component of mobility. So this is going to be a full kind of way to just mobilize the hip. So we're not so much looking to kind of just stay in the stretch or anything like that. It's just a mobility drill to regain that those passive accessory movements of spin, roll and glide into a joint. Okay, so here we go. It's going to be about 4 minutes of constant band tension around your hip before you go on the other side. First one is going to be the kind of classic, set the band up to the glute area, move way back, and instead of just kind of winding up the stretch that you could do in here, just going to place my hand where the band is, all the way right up on the hip. I'm just going to drive my hip forward, keeping the midline tight, just going back and forth. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to re-establish those passive accessory movements into the joint. So I know that when I go to extension, I'm going to mobilize the joint forward, hence the setup in here. I'm just hunting for those corners. When I find something tight, that's what I'm going to address. Now, the foot at the back, you would obviously wind it up into internal rotation. You might catch something that you wouldn't normally catch, maybe more on the outside, just like you've seen before. And 1 minute is a good time to do this. Maybe repeat it afterwards once you've done the whole drill of the 4 movements. Go again, 1 minute on each of them, so that'll be 8 minutes per side. Okay, so that's the first one. Now the second one is a new piece that you might not have seen before. We're going to keep the band tension on, I'm just going to turn around. Now the band is on the outside of the hip. I'm going to bring my foot forward. Now I'm going to drive the hip this way. So now I'm catching the kind of inferior, the bottom part of the hip capsule. And obviously anything that's tight there inside. Now just again, hunting for those corners, trying to find the directions to go to. Okay? So again, spend about 1 minute in that position. Now I'm going to turn around and play with that flexion component. So now the band is pulling me backwards. Same deal. Like you go down to kind of squatty setup, drive my hips back. Spend some time there, or I can just go ahead and wind up that classic kind of hip capsule stretch from this position as well. Position the joint back in the socket, going into that flexion component. I can also try in my internal rotation of the hip and try and find something tight, or just play around with a little bit more amplitude in different directions. Really just focusing on restoring that good, nice, healthy joint movement and position. Okay, and once I've done that, I can go ahead and turn and go do the classic distraction. I'm not going to face away from you, but I can just turn around from here. Instead, I'll just go this way. The same classic distraction stretch. From here, the classic tying in the hip capsule, work the flexion, external rotation or internal rotation, maybe hunt a little bit more into extension as well. Okay, so forward hip, you can just stay on the band for about 1 minute and give me a test retest. So go ahead and test that squat of yours and see if there's no difference in the positioning after those 4 moves. 1 minute each, you can repeat twice each side, 8 minutes each side, long 16-minute piece, but I guarantee it'll be worth it.